this tutorial, we'll be going over how to add automatic detailing and annotative elements to a family. So just so we kind of have some background as to what we're trying to do here, what we want to do is we want to add detail components that would show up in elevations, plans, whatever you'd want, to denote annotative objects based on an actual model element that you're putting in your project. So to kind of go over the whole idea of BIM is that you want to be able to save yourself as much time as possible. So for instance, if we look at this project in general, we have this opening here. It's just a square. Now if we put this in elevation, and you would have seen this in the last tutorial that we did when we created this void, you would have seen that there's no detailing attached to it. It's just a box. It's just a square. And maybe sometimes when you're doing openings, you want to have, let's say, a cross here to denote an opening. And in Revit, we can do that. We can create a detailing component. We can add it to this, and it'll relate to the parameters of this opening and automatically create those detail components for it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're obviously going to have our void opening project open. We're also going to have our assembly project open as well. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start a new family, and we're going to open a detail item template. I'll explain why we're going to use this one instead of any other one. So like a regular family, a detail item has a different set of tools like a modeling tool. Now you won't see items like under the create tab, you won't see items like extrusions and stuff like that. These are only 2D. You will never see them in 3D. So anything like text, stuff like that will only be 2D. So think of it that way. Like if you want something to be shown in elevation and not in plan, that's how you would draw it. You would draw it 2D and then you would attach it to the elevation. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're actually going to, like modeling, we're going to set up some reference planes because we're going to want to transfer these to give these parameters that we can transfer across to our other project. And then we're just going to add some dimensions here and parameters. So I'm just going to do that real quick here. Basic parameters, length, width. I made them 1 foot each, and they should all show up in your type parameters here, so that's good. We can create a type 2. We can just call it basic opening. It doesn't really matter because they're both instances, or they should both be instances. This one I don't think is, so we're going to make it an instance up here. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to create detail lines. So there's multiple things you can do in these. You can create a filled region. So let's say if you wanted to add like a cross-hatched if you wanted to create a cross-hatch, I'm just going to move this over here real quick. It's easier. Let's say you wanted to add like concrete fill or something like that. You can add that to this and make it parametric. You could also go to a masking region is another thing too. This basically just covers up an item. You could also create, detail lines, which is this one here, which is what we're going to be using here. So we're going to use detail line. We're going to go to there should be hidden lines here. So we're going to use hidden lines. We're just going to draw a square here. And then we're just going to actually align and attach these to the reference planes that we created before. the same thing, we're going to go diagonally. So we're going to create 2 more lines here. And 2. Okay. And then we're just going to give this a quick flex just to make sure that it works. Okay, so you can see the corners here are all following each other, which is exactly what we want. Perfect. So that's basically it. There really isn't much else to it besides doing that. We're going to just go to File, Save As Family, and then we're just going to save this as Surface Opening Detailing, and just hit Save. That's fine. I already had one before. I'm just going to recopy it. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to load this into project. We're going to load this into our surface opening. Don't load it into your full project. And then we're going to make sure we're in reference level because we want this to show up on the front face essentially. And then we're just going to place this. Then next what we're going to do is we're going to hit align. We're going to align the reference, the center of the void with the center of the detailing, and we're going to lock that. And then we're going to use associative parameters to give the length and the width of this void to this. So associative parameters are this little block right here. So you can select that and go to L. L is length in this circumstance. So we'll hit OK. Notice how it shrunk it. We'll hit width. So basically what associative parameters are you're basically saying this is also equal to this. You can do this with you can do this with models, nested models, which is something that we're going to go over in the next video. And it's a good way to kind of just have items talk to each other. It's kind of like shared parameters, but much simpler. And that's basically it. So the one thing that I would like to add to this as well is I like to have a visibility graphic as well, just to turn off the detailing when we want to. So I'm going to go to here and I'm going to go to a yes/no parameter. I like to put this under visibility. We're going to make it an instance because we don't want it to control all cases. So we're going to hit an instance, and then we're just going to say detailing. Detailing visibility. Hit OK. And then we'll leave it on. We'll hit apply. So right now it's just empty. The parameter is empty. It's not attached to anything. So we're going to select our detailing here. We're going to go to an associative parameter for the visibility. We're going to go here and then we're just going to attach it to this. So now the void family can tell the detailing family what to do. And then we're just going to load this into our actual project. It's going to ask me to overwrite, just because it's the same family. And yes, I'm going to overwrite all options or all instances. So the first things you're going to notice is there's no X here. And like I had said before, it's not going to show up in 3D unless you made 3D model lines, which you could do that as well. But we're not doing this in this video. So nothing in 3D, but you're going to see in elevation, we now have our cross here. So what we can actually do is we can select it. We're actually just going to enter the assembly real quick. And like I said before, you can actually turn this off now. So you can turn the detailing on and off as you wish. So I hope you guys got a lot of use out of this video. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I guess I'll see you in the next video.